Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Maazi Ezeoke speaking to us. Today is Friday. Today is usual my Friday hangout. How are we doing today? And I have been, as many of you have been sending me information, sending me messages on my WhatsApp, on Twitter, asking how is Maazi doing. I am glad to say that Maazi is doing all right and that Maazi Ezeoke is back in full force. Then I'll ask you back, how are you doing? I can see that many of you have been doing pretty well. So may I ask you if you're seeing my face for the first time, or if you've been seeing my face for the longest time, but you haven't subscribed to this platform, by all means, please subscribe to this platform. This is my Friday hangout. There is a lot to talk about. I will try as much as possible to make this a very quick one. But again, be that as it may, I welcome you all to this wonderful evening with Maazi, okay? And I hope that you are going to enjoy it as I am going to enjoy it. I will say, let us rock and roll. People, let us rock and roll. It appears my internet connection is slightly wobbly this evening, but again, it's not going to stop us from doing the needful. But again, you always know that I do give my audience time to also have some feedback. If you wish to join me in this conversation, of course, you are free at some point to wanting to join in the studio. I can share the link, then that will bring you straight on to the studio. Now, I think I might have to close some applications running on my system. For some reason, I can see that my feedback is slightly sticky. I hope that I will be able to get that done so we can get cracking. Now, this evening, we will be looking at a couple of things. Many of you, if you recall, many of you who are ardent followers of what is happening within the Nigerian space would know that the all progressive confidence, in the words of Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari, the one who said that Maazi Ezeoke is a dotted one, and he called me the dot in the circle. And I said to myself, if you give me stuff, I can make stuff out of it. Then I said to Mr. President, I am proudly dotted. Therefore, I became Onyedot. The all progressive confidence, all progressive confidence, all progressive, I don't even know again. All progressive Congress. Something sinister, something sinister is happening within the APC. As of today, in the last couple of hours, we have about 40 people applying to contest for the presidency of Nigeria under the APC, and they are over 40 people. Over 40 people, you calculate 100 million per each. Your guess is as good as mine. That gives you approximately about 4 billion naira. Wow. Wow. Just to be president of a nation. Just to be a president of a nation. The one that I think that broke the camel back, if you permit me to say, is the form picked by the current central bank governor. This is a civil servant, and there are some posts that you know that these posts should be considered sacred, especially when it comes to monetary policy. That a CBN governor, we have never seen such level of madness before. Sorry, I'd have no apologies But to classify this entirely as, as madness, it is entirely madness to note that at the end of the day, a man who ought to be serving the interest of Nigeria in terms of fiscal and monetary policy is wanting to become a president while he is still in office. And I ask myself, where has the man who says he is the anti-corruption choice, he is the one fighting corruption, where has he gone to? Has he gone to bed? What is happening to him? The APC has gone crazy, I tell you. This evening, we have people like the former Lagos State Governor, in the person of Ambode. We heard that he has also picked the ticket. Not only Ambode that has picked the ticket, we also have Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Yahaya Adoze, Bello. We have Governor Dave Omahe, Emeka Nwajuba, Godswill Babio, Professor Yemi Osibanjo, Kayode Fayemi, that is the governor of Ekiti State. And we also have that the Viagra Mount Labour leader, that is Adams Oshomole, the former APC national chairman. We have Rocha Sokorocha. We have Ben Ayade. We have Rotimi Chibike Amechi, the Minister of Transportation, the one who builds train to Niger but cannot build train to his own people, the one who builds train from Lagos to Ibadan and Abuja Kaduna Rail, but yet the narrow gauge between Port Harcourt using Aba Omaya up to Meduguri cannot be upgraded to standard gauge, even when, according to him, that all the gauges will be removed. Then I ask myself, if you're going to remove this narrow gauge ab initio, why don't you just widen it up a bit and replace them with a standard gauge? That would make it possible that sometime you can have interconnectivity within these other rail tracks. By that action, it means that trains going from Port Harcourt to Meduguri, if ever that is built in our generation, will never have connectivity with that runs in the southwest. And he wants to become the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That's Rotimi Amechi. We have also Jack Rich, we have Adamu Gaba II, and we have Olawepun Hashim. We also have Nicholas Felix. Like I said before, we have MFLO, we have Ambode, and we have Obunnaya Onu. I did not in any way forget the Okija Shrine governor in the person of Dr. Chris Nwabeze Ngige. So many people. I believe you would have to agree with me, indeed, that the APC have gone rogue and that they have gone gaga. In the words of Femi Kayode, that is Femi Fani Kayode FKK, this evening, in his own words, that over 40 people have collected the tickets. Wow. 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 I say again. Now, that is on one point. That is the first thing we're going to be discussing. Then the second point is the insecurity in the Southeast. The insecurity in the Southeast has obviously gotten worse. Tomorrow, I will be having a conversation on the state of the Igbo nation, security-wise. That conversation, I will have the privilege of having people join me from all walks of life. My guest will be Henry Shield and Anambra First Son, both from the Twitter space. Do not miss this conversation tomorrow, 6 p.m. Nigerian time. Having said that, as you are aware, yesterday President Muhammadu Buhari found his way to Ebonyi State. Incidentally, I was in Ebonyi State last weekend. I came into Ebonyi State on Saturday and I left Ebonyi State on Sunday. For the first time, something struck me. While I was in Ebonyi State, I went to the shopping mall. Many of you saw it on Saturday. I did a live stream from the shopping mall. A very fantastic project being done by the Ebonyi State governor. Today, while I was watching President Muhammadu Buhari's speech, I heard him say that in 2017, he came to Ebonyi State and he had the foundation ceremony of that structure. And today, how many years later, 5 years later, that structure is completed. What a magnificent project that is. I also had the privilege on Sunday of going to Ebonyi State International Airport. After I left Ebonyi, I headed straight to the airport in Anambra State and I took off from Anambra State Airport. For the first time, it struck me because in one day, I was in Ebonyi. In the evening, I was in Anambra State. I saw two different airports. I know my good friends and my people of Anambra State. I am a proud Anambra State indigen, and I am so lovely that even if I come to this world 100 times, I would want to remain a citizen of Anambra State. Not because I'm a high chief or anything like that, but I love my state. This is the state of my ancestors. But I must say that the things I saw in Ebonyi over the past week, or rather over the weekend, made me begin to see things differently. Recall that Anambra State Airport, as many of us know, we've argued that that airport was good. Yes, the airport is still good, but I would say it's only the runway. Anambra State Airport Terminal is nothing but a bus terminal. I was roundly disappointed. I will publish the video of Anambra Airport as well, so you'll be the judge. I was roundly disappointed that the state of Anambra State Airport is terrible in terms of the terminal building. The terminal building is nothing to write home about. Well, many of you will argue that, well, it is better we start that way. Then I say, why would Ebonyi State that has less revenue and resources than Anambra State build anything they build state-of-the-art facility? But my state of Anambra State, we will start with managing. Comparing the two airports, I can tell us for free of charge by the time Ebonyi State Airport comes on stream. I'm not a betting man, but I will be very willing to bet with anyone who cares to bet with me that Ebonyi will see or may see international plane land on it before Anambra does. Why do I say so? Ebonyi State Airport has a very massive world-class terminal. Anambra Airport has a warehouse demarcated with tarpaulin. I repeat, Anambra Airport has a warehouse demarcated with tarpaulin. When you go through the security door, getting into your departure lounge, quote unquote, departure lounge, it is nothing, honestly, to write home about because it's too small. Secondly, it is a demarcation done with tarpaulin from the arrival and departure. It's something done in a hurry. But again, I say kudos to the man who even did something. But again, if we must hold leaders to account and say anything worth doing is worth doing well, I will say Anambra Airport is roundly, as long as the terminal is concerned, very disappointing. Buhari in Ebonyi State to commission a couple of projects. Buhari is in Ebonyi State to commission the King David University of Medical Sciences. There is a video published about 30 minutes or 45 minutes ago on here on Njenje Media, on YouTube, and on Facebook. I'll ask you endeavor to go back and watch those videos and see things from my point of view. The video is about 27 minutes. That is the much we could compress the over 2 hours of recording, because there were honestly so much to show, but we managed to compress the video under 27 minutes. I left Ebonyi that day thinking how I wish that other state governors in the southeast and in the south-south would ever have such to emulate. While you compare some governors that make noise, like the one in River State, attacking every single person, you ask yourself, if you ever dare give the governor of Ebonyi State 10% of what is accruable in some of these states that make a lot of noise, don't you think that he would deliver more? You begin to wonder, what were other governors doing before he came? In some forums, I have this afternoon argued with a lot of people when I shared the video. Some say the governor should have started with low-cost housing. They should have started with these, and the other one I say, listen, you have to start somewhere. Again, there are issue of low-cost housing, schools being built, but the things I saw and the standard with which they were built, for instance, if you go into the King David University, state-of-the-art facilities, there is a cancer center, there is a heart operation center, all these diseases that our people suffer and fly to India to get themselves treated, these facilities are there. Not only that the facilities are there, they also do have, the other part of teaching lectures where you have the e-library, everything there, any literature that is not readily available there, you can make a request and that literature will be bought for you. Ensure that you have no reason to say that this literature is not there, that you can read it. You go to the physics library, you go to chemistry library, you go to biology library, you go to information technology library, the escalators are working, you look at the reception is 2,000 times. The reception at the university, is 2,000 times better than an airport in my state of Anambra. Can you beat that, people? That is it. Now, let us rewind and go back and start with these conversations again. Let's go back to the APC. Before we go back to the APC, we will probably go back and invite the president, because when the president took over, or rather when they were campaigning, the president were saying stuff that we thought we did understood, but we never knew. We never understood the president, and we never knew he was sending us a coded message. The messages the president sent us, but that appears, as it is today, that many of us are beginning to understand the message the president was sending across to us. Before I dive into that this evening, I must say to many of you who sent condolence messages to me, I do appreciate your prayers. I do appreciate your time and your effort. And some of you who were able to attend the burial of my elder brother, I say thank you. Some of you who weren't able to attend and who joined us virtually, I do also say thank you very much. And I thank you in in so many ways. It was a very trying period. It was a very painful and a sad death, having to lose two siblings within a space of 15 months. You know, it's one of those things I wouldn't even wish my enemy. If I had one, sadly, I have no enemies. At least, not that I know of, though that I have said that they are mine, unless so many of you who are misguided, who probably don't understand issues the way they ought to be, who consider different opinions enmity. And I say to you, if that be you, so be it. Thank you very, very much for all the care and prayers given in that trying period. Before I go back to the APC ticket gone crazy, I would want to take some couple of your comments and, as a means of feedback. This is not only one person speaking, so let's, it's good to go back and have feedback from your audience. I will start with Jesus. What, what a name. Okay. If I start with Jesus, Jesus says, Maazi, what's happened now? I can't even. Okay, Jesus says, Maazi, I understand what you're talking about, even though I am far away in Switzerland, but the video of the project I see on YouTube done by Dave Omahi, if it is as I see it on the video, David tried. While I was doing the video last week, I said something to us that I have the feeling because I see these things, I take these shots myself. Sometimes the staff do also help, but from the things I see and from the things the camera captures, sometimes I do have that feeling that the camera is actually not doing enough justice to the videos, or rather to the images that I see there. Obviously, you live in Switzerland. There is never a time we will. Obviously, Switzerland is a much developed society. There is never a time we will see and compare stuff as it is in Switzerland. But one thing that is very clear is that in the context of Africa, the things seen in Ebonyi are indeed something of gratification to note that this thing is happening in your neck of wood. In the words of my late father, he says, the things we are looking in Sokoto, incidentally, are in our Shokoto. And it is only when you do your hands the other way, you definitely touch that which you are looking for. Dele Amedu says, Wike needs to be investigated ASAP. If Ebonyi with mega resources could boast of world-class infrastructure, then Wike as a governor of Rivers State needs to be given the Obiano treatment by EFCC. Well, you said it, not me. One thing I can tell you is that with the amount of resources available to to Rivers Delta, Akwa Ibom, if these resources, half of it is available to Dave Umahi, that's going to be a different ballgame. Do you know that every single road you drive on in Ebonyi is 8 inches full concrete with iron cast? Just like when you do, I tell people, for you to have a mental picture of what it means is like, imagine a duplex decking, when you deck a duplex. That's exactly what you're doing on the roadside, and you have, both sides, dual carriage. If you leave Enugu, I had, my friend who went with me to Ebonyi State. At some point when we were leaving Ebonyi, we fell asleep. But the moment we saw bumpy areas before Emene and a very dirty environment, he woke up and said, "We have left Ebonyi, isn't it?" I said, "Why?" He said, "Yeah, of course. You can see that the environment has changed. Everywhere is dirt. Everywhere is dirty, and 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 you can see that from the faces of the of the people." Jesus Christ! The one that really got me is Ebonyi State's International Airport Terminal. I didn't have my tape, but looking at the level of cement, that is nothing less than 12 inches, because it's two layers. Actually, it should be between 12 and 16 inches. Two layers of of work. I had to, at some point, I said, let's drive as if a plane is landing. We had to drive from one end of the runway to the other. And you ask yourself, one thing my last visit to Ebonyi has proven to me is that we can actually ignore the federal government exactly, the way Professor Chukwuma Charles Soludo has been saying, that we can build a society from ground up, not necessarily waiting for the federal government to. Dave Omahi, with the mega resources Ebonyi State is doing, I'm a project manager. The things I saw have convinced me that we still have men with grey matters in between their skulls that can do the needful if need be. If Nigeria is actually a place where quality matters, every commissioner of works should be sent to Ebonyi State to go and do boy, to go and do apprenticeship, because that's what it should be. Thank you very much, DCNSZ. Really sorry about your brothers. Post account details. Well, I think if you take note of the lower third there, you will see Njenje Media Communications account number on the bottom there. If you so wish, you may use that. So now, people, what is your thought on the number of people that has so far purchased the APC ticket? In the words of Femi Fani Kayode this evening, Femi Fani Kayode said that over 40 people, and when I started, I railed out over 20 names of people, the ones I could remember. I'm not an encyclopedia, but there are names I could remember that have actually bought the tickets. Now, for so many of you on the comment section who said they want to join, I've just basically shared the link for you to join me here. So you may click on it and also join me if you so wish. Let's have a matured conversation and see. In looking at this, if you may permit me, we may go ahead and look at the individuals that we think are in this race once more. We have the PP Master, the Puyi, and the Puya. We have the one many of you fondly call Tata Tata Ta, the Yeye Bello, the one that owes salary, a man who cannot pay salary of a state, 26,000 square kilometer, the size of the Southeast. He couldn't pay salaries, but he wanted to become the president of the Federal Republic. We have the wonder-working governor in the person of Dave Omahi, the only one who, with the governor of Borno State, Zulum, who actually perform wonders with little resources available to them. We have the one, I call him the younger Abakari. If you Google him, Emeka Nwajuba, you will see him wears and dresses like Abakari. Sadly, his mentor, Abakari, is now late. We have the uncommon transformer, the former governor of Akwa Ibom State, Akpabio, who is incidentally also the minister of Niger Delta and in charge of NDDC, Niger Delta Development Commission, where Professor Pondi, when you ask them to account for the billions they spent, they faint. Do you still remember Off Your Mic? You still remember Off Your Mic saga? That is the one I am talking about. I gave it to him. He was also a man who developed his state tremendously, but many would argue with, at what cost? He can also be accused of having borrowed like a man within the asylum. You have Professor Yemi Osubanjo, a very erudite professor, an orator, a man who can speak without reading notes nor using a teleprompter. Many accuse him of keeping quiet while a lot of atrocities happened under the one he served. That is President Muhammadu Buhari. Many also accuse him of being a bad manager of the economy. Recall that the vice president under his purview, he has he is the one that is in charge of the economy. And you can see how bad the economy is now performing. You also have the Kayode Fayemi, the governor of Ekiti State, the one who was a contractor during the time of Nedeko to go and get debts, refuge and pour them on the third mainland bridge in order to fight Abacha. You have the Viaga Mouth, Labour leader, ex-Labour leader, the one who is married to a populistic lady, the one who talks without control while he was the APC, APC chairman. Recall his famous phrase that if you decamp from another party and you come into the APC, that all your sins will be forgiven. Insinuating that even if you're a thief, as long as you come into APC, you're
Tony Ilwobe means I don't do bad. And in fact, once you have joined APC, all your sins are forgiven. Once you have joined APC, all your sins are forgiven. All your sins are forgiven.
So you recall the one that says once you've joined APC, all your sins are forgiven. He now wants to be a president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You recall that we still have Dr. Philip Idewo. I mean, I don't think he has paid, but he still, he has interest in that. And we have the Iberiberizing governor, the former, the one that had a lot of China road constructed in Imo State, the only governor in Nigeria that builds bridges without any road. However he does it is magic. But after a while, those bridges collapsed in the person of Rochas, Anayochukwu Okorocha. And we have the former PDP, but now APC crying governor, the one that said he has wasted 7 years or 6 years and all the things he wanted to achieve as a governor, he hasn't achieved them and he is crying. Then they ask him, Oga, why are you crying? In the person of Ben Ayade. We have Rotimi Amechi, let me not say that. But again, he's the Minister of Transportation, a Minister of Transportation that is not able to build a standard gauge rail transportation system for his people within Eastern Nigeria. And we have Ten Jack Rich, we have Adamu Gaba. Recall Adamu Gaba the second. Adamu Gaba is the one that said he was going to sue Twitter when Twitter banned President Muhammadu Buhari. Now it appears a little bit difficult for him to gather the 100,000 or rather 100 million to buy the form. Olawepu Hashim, Nicholas Felix, MFLO, the governor of Central Bank, Ambode, the former governor of Lagos State, Ogbonnayano, the Minister of Science and Technology, that promised Nigeria that Nigeria will start producing pencil within a space of 3 years. But now this is the 7th year. I am not aware that Nigeria has produced any pencil under him. But hey, I like him. He's a gentleman. Also, he was the former civilian governor of Abia State before that state got split, and Dafibo, his area, joined Ebonyi State. People, isn't APC a wonderful party? 40 people contesting for one seat. Now, I ask myself, I do not only see these numbers, but I even forgot Andiuba, the one that failed in his bid to become the governor of Anambra State under APC. He has joined the fray. And we also have Dr. Chris Ngige, the former illegal governor of Anambra State. Yes, I keep using illegal governor because he stole a mandate, and that mandate that he stole eventually was taken away from him, and that's what made him illegal governor. So many of them, so many people wanting to become governor, president in Nigeria. Then I ask myself, to what end? Do you think this is normal? I think there is more to it than that meets the eye. There is more to it. I think for some reason I can sense, I forgot the one I did respond to the other time, Dr. Tunde Bakari, the one that accused and said that Igbos killed Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, and that he cursed Ndibo, that Ndibo would never govern Nigeria. I told you that time that the moment he made that statement, in my response to him, I said to us, here is a man who is trying to come out for president. That which he said was never reviewed by the Spirit, nor was it a factual information. He was just taking a cheap shot in order to see how he can pull the Igbos down in order for him to have something to climb on. Recall one time he told us that God told him that Buhari was going to hand over to him. And I said, what is the essence of an election? If Buhari was going to hand over to you, then you better go and fast 7 days and 7 nights. Recall that there was a time he actually said that he belongs to no political party. I don't know if he has changed, if he's now a member of any political party. Your guess is as good as mine. So am I forgetting anybody? There are people, there are so, it's gone crazy. And to think that all these people buying this form for 100 million, just that the government is a useless one. Sorry, but the government is a useless one. If not, why wouldn't they be tasking them for now to tell us how much they had paid in taxes? Anyone who can get out 100 million to buy a presidential form should be able to have something to to say, this is what I do and this is how I get my money. I can see that someone is trying to join the conversation. Please, by all means, make sure that where you are is well lit up. And if that is the case, I have Mohammed Aminu join me here. Mohammed Aminu, you're welcome. Yeah, Mohammed Aminu, you're welcome.
I want to use this opportunity to salute you. I've been following you so many times in your programs, but I couldn't have the opportunity to speak on you on the video, so to say.
Okay, go ahead,
But,
Maazi.
by and large, going by the topic of today, I think there are so many important issues that are bordering, particularly the southeast, so to say, or the whole Nigerian, and that I think we need to do the issue of APC, TKT, or something like that. That is for the politicians. It's left for them to do their games as they want it. But we believe, just I heard you saying that Tunde Bakari has made some statements, I think months ago, which you think, going by his words, may definitely hurt him in the maybe soliciting for the support of the people from particularly the southeast, so to say. But I think there are so many important issues that maybe we need to discuss generally, so to say, and Nigeria at large, and also southeast in particular, so to say.
May I give you the opportunity to raise those issues that you think are of great importance?
Okay. I think that last 3-4 days, if I am not mistaken, there were army officers that were butchered or killed, so to say, in southeast, and they were going for marriage, so to say, a woman and a man, both of them an army officer. I think the woman was also, as I heard, was raped before even she was even killed. So I don't know why you're not talking about that particular issue, because it's a very big challenge, so to say.
I think if you look at the topic, of discussion, and if you had joined me from onset, it will be fair to look at the topic of discussion. That is the second topic. There are 3 topics here. One is the APC, and second is the insecurity in the southeast. And I said here, insecurity in the southeast has gone worse. And I did mention that, but while I touched on all
I'm just joining. That is why I did not hear you at that particular aspect.
Okay. So, well, you can see that clearly. That is the reason why I added the insecurity in the southeast is gone worse. Now, can we, I would want to discuss that with you, but before we go further to that insecurity in the southeast, can we take it in the order of my presentation? Now, can we stay on the APC ticket? Do you have any comments to make on the APC ticket? 1, on the price; 2, on the amount of people that are joining the presidential race, before we get into the insecurity in the southeast?
Okay. Precisely my own particular or personal view about the APC presidential aspirant that have been buying from all these weeks that have been passing. It could have been very important for them to maybe use the money in some aspect to help the needy in Nigeria, so to say, because from my personal view, from all the candidates have shown interest to contest under the platform of the APC, I think I would maybe just pick 2 people or 3, so to say. For example, if I'm going to mention name, like Tinubu, so to say, have the political structure. That is what we call political structure. So if someone needs to build in Nigerian politics, you cannot just wake up one day and say you want to be a president of Nigeria. It's not possible. It's just not been done like that in Nigeria. You have to work hard, earn it, solicit for the support of the voters, and also build your bridges, so to say. I think among all the candidates, Tinubu have that particular qualities also to say, or facilities. He has built the political structure, especially in the southwest and even the north, so to say, but maybe little in the southeast, so to say. But I think the remaining aspirants, Let me drop the point.
Let me hold on, Tinubu. Okay. There are many people that will say that Tinubu is not healthy. Do you think he is? Do you think his health or his health status could really handle the rigor of presidential office? Or do you think if we elect him as president, you're going to be looking at another tragedy as we did have with President Muhammad Buhari, that over a year he could exactly. So is that something wrong with us that we always like to have sick people to govern us?
Okay, on this particular question you just put to me, my personal understanding of what is going on generally in Nigeria, so to say, if I'm going to cite example with some candidate among the APC, so to say, if going by the age of comparing with Tinubu and others that are aspiring to be president of Nigeria, let me just give you an example now. We have someone like Soweri, so to say. He's a young person at the age of maybe 50 or 40 something, so to say, if I'm not mistaken. But taking a look at his antecedents and predicaments also to what he has done in the past, honestly, you cannot just ask him to become a president. He needs to start from somewhere. Though all the candidates in APC, I don't know the health of Tinubu, but looking at physically, is far in age, so to say, almost close to Buhari, if I'm not mistaken.
So
I'm coming. Politics is a game of choice. If the voters deem it fit that they are willing to give him their votes, may so be it is their choice. Nobody can stop them from voting the person they choose to vote.
Unless the
we
voters
cannot decide.
Unless the voters take tramadol, while they would see, if we put sentiment aside and you look at the health and the performances of, let's take two people that are on the seat currently. You look at President if Professor Yemi Osinbajo was to be from the Northwest, if Professor Yemi Osinbajo were to be from Katsina or from Sokoto, do you think putting Professor Yemi Osinbajo and putting Buhari, if they both were to be from the Northwest, do you think that Buhari had a chance?
The issue of politics in Nigeria, you cannot just predict maybe by just citing examples, so to say. What I'm trying to pinpoint or buttress on the topic of the discussion is that, for example, now there is difference between what you feel and what is on reality. You understand what I'm saying? What we feel physically, Tinubu is older in age, but is it on reality that he cannot be given the ticket of APC? That is the point. That is the point we need to discuss.
No, I think you're mixing two things here. I think the things I think you're mixing here is very simple. Now,
Okay.
the question I asked you was on Tinubu, right? Are you still there?
I'm there. I'm with you.
Okay. The question I asked you was on Tinubu's health.
Yeah.
Now you're jumping from one, topic to the other.
I cannot talk about his health because I don't know him. I don't know his health.
Yes, the same way you didn't know Buhari's health, but there are some physical appearances, there are some physical manifestations that when you begin to see them, for instance, if I tell you that I am in good health and you tell me, Maazi, can we just go from one shop to the other? And after 2 minutes, I can no longer walk, and I'm panting, and I say, can you give me water to drink? And you want to give me water, and my hand is shaking like this, but I'm telling you, everything is fine, I'm perfect in order. Do you think that is, I'm being fair, even when you haven't seen my medical record? Do you think I'm being fair?
I understand the direction you're going to. I understand. Okay. But what I'm trying to pinpoint is that if, for example, me and you believe are in the same line that Tinubu is not healthy to lead the country, Nigeria, so to say. But in reality, can the party maybe sideline him and give another person that they think is more healthier than him? That is the point.
Okay. Anyway, that is for the delegate to decide. But now, let me bring in Barry here. Barry, good evening, Barry.
Good evening, Maazi.
No, on the topic we are discussing now, we are still on the APC, and over 40 people have bought their tickets. So far, I've listed the names of over 20 people. What's your take? Many of you on the comment section are saying, like even Mohammed Aminu said, they should probably have used some of this money to, do societal work, build stuff for the poor, for the needy, help the poor and the needy, but no one is actually doing doing that. They all wanting to be president at once. What is your take?
Thank you very much, Maazi. I think there is something going on. Sincerely, I don't believe that all these people buying tickets here and there at such a price of 100 million truly wants to be president. I think there is something we don't know about. Most of them are not qualified to be president. What is the rationale behind somebody that is a minister for state of education or what? When ASU is on strike, buying tickets of 100 million without resolving this issue? Minister of Labor, Minister of Science, CBN governor. I don't understand. This cannot happen in any sane society. And I think the biggest problem we have here, I don't blame them because they see us as, they've seen Nigerians that we can't do anything. Whatever they wake, when they sleep and wake up, they do certain things they like whenever they like it, and nobody questions them. I always say that the problem is the citizens.
Sorry, please, let me pray. I'm coming back.
Okay, sorry, Aminu. We'll take you out, and when you come, we'll bring you back.
So the problem now is, I think the citizens are here to blame because we allow them. Yes, the other day I saw National Association of Nigerian Students trying to get a peaceful protest. That should be what should be on ground. We should question, apart from politics, because I believe something, there is a negotiation coping. I think there is something that's been leaked to most of these people. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I might. Sorry?
I think, Barry, I totally agree with you. You know, I told someone that rang me about 2 hours ago, the moment Emefelu, Anyuba, Ambode, in one day, they all bought their ticket. I said to that person, I think you don't need to be a soothsayer to know that there is something happening. Now, we have some permutations of how we can place something that is happening, but we are not too sure. I think, if I may say, I think there is a gang up happening. There is a gang up. But let me bring in Dubem here. Dubem, if you don't mind, if you can sit up upright and speak to us, okay?
All right. Good evening, Maazi.
Yes, good evening, my brother.
Well, when it comes to the ticket, I mean, it's only in insane country like Nigeria that a government that came into power, claiming that they want to fight corruption, now comes into power and they want people to start buying form for 100 million. And all the aspirants would come to TV and tell us that the people buying the form for them are some unknown, I don't know, the same hungry Nigerians that can barely feed are the ones buying the form for them, even though we all know that these people are not going anywhere, like my brother that spoke before me said. I just heard you mention Emefele now. I didn't. I'm just hearing it now that he also got the form as well. And few weeks ago, or a month ago, there was a big thing about people saying if he was going to contest or not. Every single person was like, it's not possible. How can you be a CBN governor and be trying to go into politics like that? But clearly, Nigeria has, I think Nigeria always find a way to even beat our imagination, because just when we think that we've seen the worst of it, other things just keep coming up to show us that we haven't actually seen anything. Also to piggyback on what my brother, the guy that spoke before, said, I think they're trying to create some kind of confusion within APC. With other people, they will now come together and call them together and be like consensus candidate. We all know that this is what is going to happen ultimately, but it's all this money. Although I wanted to say there is a waste of money, but then again, you say that they use it to buy form and give it to APC and they embezzle it there, or they have already embezzled the money anyway, because the money has already gone out of Nigerian treasury. So it's just ridiculous. But we are living it, and everybody seems to be. We're just talking about it. Nobody is actually doing anything because that's the kind of country we have.
So
We just
what sort of thing do you think? And let's stay realistic here. This is a political party. You know, the opposition has had their price for about, I think it's about 40 million. Now you have these SDP is about 35. Then you have parties like AAC, that is Soros Party, having it for free, but you need to pay registration, and you know every other thing is less than 200,000. So for me, it makes much sense, you know, in that range. But don't you think that parties do have rights, because it's something that makes them money? I saw a calculation someone made this evening. If you go by the Senate, House of Assemblies, by the number of people that have bought so far, you're looking in the region of around 11 billion that they have collected already. So don't you think that the party sees that as a money-making venture, whereas the individuals that purchased those funds see it as a means of settlement? Someone actually explained this evening that if you buy the form of 100 million, you be rest assured that you're getting a return on investment of nothing less than $500 million.
Yeah.
So isn't that a fair deal? If you can put 100 million and within 60 days you get $500 million, come on. Isn't that business that you may wish to, even you wish to engage in?
I mean, I would if there were business people or businessmen that we can tell how they got their money. I mean, all of these people, most of them, they are all politicians that we can actually calculate whatever they've made in their political life by what they all, what they told us they're receiving. A lot of them haven't made up to 100 million, and these people comes up and they're buying forms of 100 million. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's totally, I don't even know. If these people if they were known, if they were professionals that excelled in their various field, or they were business people that did so well that we all know, if Otedala comes out and buy a form for 1 billion, if a political party, I don't think a lot of people will be talking, because by the end of the day, it will be the issue of, okay, if that's what the party want and he can afford it, people will probably be like, okay, it's a way of trying to stop people that probably have the quality to contest. But these people are government officials.
But don't you, not necessarily all of them. Some of them, if you look at, as I've been so informed that Dimeji Bankole has also joined the fray. If that be the case, these people are non-serving people currently. But be that as it may, let me get my brother Ovia, and we have Prince joining us. But let me come to Ovia first. Ovia,
yes.
What's your take? I mean, this is ridiculous. This is, after you, I'll be bringing in our brother Prince. And if we have women watching us, please, this is not only a men affair. We don't want to manize everything. We want to also womanize some stuff. So go ahead.
Well, Putin, knowing the kind of political system we are operating, I'm not surprised, because this democratic or the presidential system of government that we are practicing, it's a system whereby the political parties are privately owned, they are private business who happen to be operating within the public space or public entity. I mean, what APC is doing is to raise money ahead of unforeseen circumstances. Why? If you look back to during the days of PDP where they're in power, what they do is to organize a fundraiser, and you see people donating 300 million, 5 billion, and all that. So I think what the government of the day, the Buhari, has done, putting everything into consideration. Everything means the economic downturn that we are just experiencing in the name of COVID, thanks to COVID, quote unquote, and the fact that they are fighting corruption. And again,
sorry, who is fighting corruption?
I mean, what do you want me to say? That's what you're telling us now. I mean, they are fighting corruption. That's why they are in power. So put that in there, quote unquote. And again, remember, Buhari said he has someone that is going to anoint. That person might not be.
No, did Buhari actually said he was going to anoint someone?
I mean, he said he has somebody in his mind, in his heart, right, during the interview that he granted to Arise. You know, that if you mention the person's name, you will be killed, not like literally killed, but whatever I mean by that. But I mean, whether we like it or not, as time goes on, he's going to support someone because he will want somebody that will come and either cover his ass or, you know, continue his legacy. So he's going to announce someone. And it might not be someone that the money bags or those people that will actually contribute that will like. So what do? I mean, they are targeting $30 billion, 30 billion naira. That's what they're targeting. So in case he brings somebody and the quote unquote the money bags in the party say, well, these people we know, especially somebody like Tinubu who might not likely get the tickets. Is he still going to bring out his money? So these people are actually, the party is actually.
But that's why would people be bothering? Because didn't we read where they said that Tinubu had a plan B of moving into SDP, where he has used a surrogate to hold place for him in case if he fails, then he goes into SDP and gets an automatic ticket from the SDP. Anyway,
yes, well, let me speculate on that. What about if they decide to call him and sit him down and say, Baba, we don't hold, but bring your Peking come?
Nah.
You don't think so? Because so far, everybody, all his political sons have betrayed him. So far, you know, politically, even though they don't want to admit them, it's possible.
Come on, that's not sexually transmitted governance the way we wanted to have it in Imo State.
No, Nigeria we do. Anything is possible.
Anyway,
so,
I agree with you. Everything is possible. I think we'll be rounding up on this topic. I'll move to insecurity, but let me hear from Prince. Prince, you're welcome. Your thoughts and comments, please. What's happened? Okay, Prince logged off. So, I mean, at the end of the day, people, when we look at this, I come back to Barry again. Barry, you've listened to everybody. Do you think that the APC and what is happening, that there is indeed a something sinister being planned or something sinister happening?
Thank you very much. I will not say sinister, but there is something we don't know. It is not just about the 100 million or who is going to get the ticket or who is going to be anointed. No. Most of these people, or 80 to 90% of these people coming up every day, in the last 48 hours, if I'm not mistaken, we've had almost about 6 to 7 people buying 100 million naira from in the last 48 hours. Let me tell you now, when this thing was announced first time, it was like how many people? 4 or 5. I think the Yaya Bellos, the Tinibus, these are people that just rushed within 3-4 days. Then all of a sudden, there is this surge. Like you said, I think there is a return on investment somehow. And remember, in the form they bought, somebody raised an issue, I think a lawyer, said there is a page there or a section there. They say that you have to sign to agree. If there is a consensus candidate, there is a page there that you pre-sign that even if this thing of consensus candidate comes up, you have signed already in agreement that you fall in line. Yet, you're telling me that most of, look at the Meji Bank and the likes of them going to buy ticket within 48 hours, if probably 6 or 7, there is a return on investment. Like you said, I've had this thing of like, okay, get 100 million, maybe at the end of the day, there will be 500 million. Now, this is not MMM. This is not MMM. So who is giving 500 million? How will this 500 million come about?
Easy.
Is it maybe if they win election that they are not even yet sure of winning because most Nigerians are angry?
If that's going to make you, it's a very easy action. If you bring 100 million and you have X number of delegates and you're willing to deliver and step down to form a consensus candidate, and they give you $500 million, that's a no-brainer for them. I mean,
sorry, please. Who gives you the 500 million?
Whoever you're stepping that the person overall that they step down for, the person who pays the delegate. You see, the thing
and we are looking at Tinubu here. We are looking at the bullion van man here.
Well,
because I think
you are calling names now, but some people
sorry,
here. But anyway,
sorry. So yeah, I believe somebody came up with this idea when the person saw that maybe the first time 2, 3, 4 people said, okay, fine, I can negotiate, because somebody has said that this is lifetime ambition. Lifetime ambition.
Can I tell you this? Have you thought about that? In order to cripple Tinubu, let's call name, in order to cripple the wee master here, could it be that by the time you get a lot of people, especially from the south, to move in, the delegates that he was going to be fighting for will be slashed? In that way, it weakens him.
That's one part too. Yeah.
Okay.
Have you thought about it this way? Someone said actually that a governor within the Northwest funded some of these people we are seeing. I'm not, no name is being mentioned here.
Yeah.
But have you thought about that those whom we consider political wizards are at work trying to play the political chess game, while you and I are here shouting the game is being played properly? By the time the cards are all laid together, it might be clear at the last minute.
It could be to buy a position again. I mean, if you put 100 million, you are guaranteed of being a minister or appointee of, special appointment is waiting for you with that kind of money to pay.
Well, and that means the stealing continues. But before we move on, let's get Prince back in. Prince, could you quickly make your intervention, Prince, if you're able to come in and before you log off again? Hello, Prince. Are you there? If you're there, can you make your contribution, please?
Prince be like PDP supporter. That's why.
No, we are not APC supporters. We are just concerned Nigerians.
You see, Prince, they look like somebody where they don't do MMM. They talk. maybe he bought form, or maybe he bought form and he was not refunded.
Anyway. Those that invest in politics, now they are season this anyway. So
exactly. I mean,
safe for this moment. So
their container is just landed. So now let's move to insecurity in the southeast. There is a trending video. I don't know if any of you have seen this video. I had the misfortune of watching that video about 4 o'clock Nigerian time. That's roughly a couple of hours ago, where a woman, a military officer, was violated sexually. The husband and other people beheaded in that video, and her private part severed and her neck taken off from the body. Watching that, I asked myself, how did we get here? How did we get here? How come that something like this? Recall that when ISIS started, the whole world was in utter rage. When you started seeing people, something like that, people being shot at close range, people having their heads severed from their bodies, people being burnt in cages, and there was total outrage. Now, many are arguing that if, as is happening today, that if it continues, that you will see a further militarization of the Southeast, a region. So at the moment, a region that is really going through a lot of security challenges. Now, Dubem, I take it that you are from the Southeast. Pardon me and permit me to start from you. What's your view on the current insecurity in the Southeast?
I've tried to make sense of the whole thing for over more than a year now, but you will never ever make sense of that. But I have to go back to where it started from, when Southwest initiated Amateco. The governors in the Southeast then had opportunity of a low-hanging fruit to form some kind of security network, because then it wouldn't be Igbos doing it again, because anything that we start, pardon me, anyone that is not from the Southeast now, anything that we start in Nigeria will always be looked at, the way it will be looked at. Coming from the Southwest, there was a lot of fights, even though it came from there, but they succeeded, and they established Amateco. So the governors in the Southeast, for whatever reason, for whatever promise or whatever fear, I don't know what it was, failed to grab that opportunity that was just there. All they needed to do was to, float what is already there, put it out there. So they didn't do that. And the Eastern Security thing came up. And at the point, it looked like, yes, this was what we all needed and everything, until videos started going, circulating online and every other thing, the kind of things that you probably think will never, because I always think, or I used to pride my people like very civilized people, even when they probably don't have any education. I used to think that there are things that we wouldn't do, but when I started seeing those videos, for the fact that they were doing whatever they were doing in the bush was not even the issue. It's for the fact that they were recording them and putting them out for people to see. I knew there was a problem brewing, but like every other thing, because all I keep asking was, I understand why this needs to be done, but who is going to take this gun away from some of these people once they have it? Knowing that a lot of these people that are doing, and I'm not trying to be condescending or anything to anybody right now, but knowing that some of these